Welcome to the Columbia College Coaches Show here on MediaCom Channel 22. With us this week talking volleyball from Columbia College, Coach Washington. How are you?
Great.
Welcome back as we have another portion of our segment here about volleyball. A busy week and a half since our last show. Talk a little bit about the big tournament down in Texas.
Well, it was a long trip down, and we got there. We had a couple of ranked teams that we played and had a good weekend. We were able to beat Texas Wesleyan on Friday, despite a small injury to our setter. And then Saturday we got to play Lubbock Christian, who was ranked in the top 15, and a handy win over them. We beat them pretty well. We got up and had some emotion and a good match there. Then had to turn around the same day and see the number 6 ranked team, Texas Brownsville, and ended up taking them to 5, but lost in the 5th set.
Couldn't quite pull the ultimate revenge on them. Another tough challenge for you guys, but I'm sure you'll end up seeing them again in the tournament most likely. Yeah,
and you know, on any given day, either one of those teams can win. It's a great matchup. The hitters match up, the blockers match up, the setters match up. So it's great competition for our kids, and I'll take a loss in a match like that to get our kids exposed to that level of play, and you know, to see teams like that we're going to have to really defend against. We didn't have everybody 100%. You know, Paula had an injury, and then we had the number 13 ranked team early in the day. So we played 2 top 15 teams in the same day, and that's tough, and ended up going 5 with Brownsville, but came up on the short end in the game 5.
And a long way down, a bus trip down, right? And you get down there and you got that caliber of teams crammed into that few time. I don't think people realize. On paper, it looks like okay, a couple games here or there, but you start adding up as far as the wear and tear on the girls with quality competition.
It does, and 6 matches in 7 days. You know, that's what we've had this past week, and that's a lot of matches and a lot of, especially to mix in top 25 games in there, and you know, it was a combination of vans, then a plane, then a bus. You know, it was a long way down, and it was a long trip for some of the girls flying. You know, they're comfortable with flying, but it's a lot of stress on a team to travel that far and have to see ranked opponents right away.
Most definitely. So again, that's all kind of a behind-the-scenes stuff. And then in addition to, as before we talked about, also keep an eye on studies and the rest of the routine. Then you turn around and you come back to Columbia literally 12 hours later. And take on Hannibal LaGrange at home back on Monday night.
Right, the conference match, and they were fired up to play us. We were both tied at number 1 in the conference as far as wins, losses, and they have a better team this year. They've played some decent competition, and you know, they were fired up. Our girls were a little bit flat coming off of the weekend, and there's a lot of destinations we play that, you know, we fly and we bus and we travel quite often. There's a lot of destinations that are easy to get to, even though it's the same distance maybe. But this destination was it was a lot of work to get there, and a lot of homework this week also at Columbia College. So the girls had a lot on their minds, but I'm really proud of them. The ability to play through and get wins in situations like that is key, because when it comes down to it at nationals, every team in the country is going to need to do that.
Yeah, a lot of competition again with the Hannibal match, a back and forth, a roller coaster of emotions on the sideline as the coach, knowing that you're clearly the better team. On the floor, it's a matter of that coming through and keeping the girls mentally sharp enough to carry through and get the victory.
Right. It seemed like the fatigue factor set in. We came out with a lot of emotion. I warned the girls in the locker room pregame that I didn't want them to come out flat. I didn't want them to come out physically tired, and to really bring a lot of emotion to the start of the match to have a good start, which we did. And then game 2, we just kind of shut it down. It was over, and physically our legs caught up with us a little bit. And to be this early in the season and to have that many matches in a week, we still have some physical conditioning to do. We have some lifting to do and some other things. We've had 4 tournament weekends in a row, which hasn't allowed for a lot of time lifting and conditioning, which is something we need to hit now. Yeah,
there's 2 different sides to the condition, actual gameplay, and then preparation for other matches. And then you were able to dig back and find the switch and turn it back on and finish off Hannibal and get the win in sole possession of first now in the conference.
Right, and a lot of confidence out of our veterans to be able to push through. Even though physically they were really tired from the weekend, they were mentally capable of making the right shots and knowing what they needed to do to win the game when it came down to it.
Cougars win the conference match against Hannibal, and more on the schedule coming up for the Cougars. And also a guest joining Coach Washington with us today as well on the Coaches Show on MediaCom Channel 22.